Okay, so game students, I received some feedback from the past two assignments, and it seems like the remote desktop is painfully laggy and it doesn't really work. And then there's also the issues of saving with Unity. So we're going to try something totally different. Every now and then, you sort of have to throw away something you thought it might work, and then it doesn't. So we're going to try something new in the last couple of classes here. What I want to do is I want to show you a feature of your Chromebook that you might not know about, and that is that you can actually activate Linux applications on your Chromebook. So what we're going to do is we're going to today set up a development environment so that we can, in these last couple of days, start learning how to develop video games in a totally different framework than we've been doing so far. Basically HTML, CSS, and JavaScript games. So HTML5 games, web-based games. We're going to explore doing that with straight JavaScript, then also with a framework called Phaser. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over here to my Chromebook. I'm actually remoting into a Chromebook, so you can see, this is weird. I'm going to go full screen here, so it actually looks like a Chromebook. And okay, I'm happy with that. Now, what I want to show you here is that in your Chromebook settings down here, let me clear all that. Let me clear this also, whatever. If you click on the settings button right here, you're gonna see in your Chromebook, there's this Linux parentheses beta section right here. What we wanna do is we wanna go and we wanna turn this on. So set up Linux beta on your Chromebook. We're gonna click install. All right, so it may take a few moments to go ahead and do this. So while this is processing, I'm actually going to pause the video and then I'll come back once it is done. Okay, once the initialization process is finished, you're going to see that this application opens up called Terminal. So Terminal is sort of like the way the computers were before there was a graphical user interface. And so in Linux, it's still used quite a lot. And so what you're looking at right here is essentially this folder that you can see. If you go to the directory structure right here, you'll see on the local machine, it says My Files, Downloads. You now have this thing called Linux Files. It's sort of outside of your Google Drive. And if you look, there's nothing in it. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it temp for now, just to sort of illustrate a process. In Terminal, if I go ahead and I type ls, that is the command for listing what's inside of the folder. Remember, we're in the Linux files folder right here, and we press enter, it will show you that there is a temp folder. In this terminal, blue text that you see right in this area will appear, that means that it's a folder. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete this because we actually don't need this. And I'll hit delete, and then I go back to terminal, I can ls again, and you'll see there's nothing there inside it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Google Classroom, we're going to go visit the link to code.visualstudio.com/download, and we're going to download the Linux version of this piece of software. It's a .deb file, and we're going to click the download button, and it's going to say, thanks for downloading VS Code. It's going to ask where we want to save it. And we want to not save it to the downloads folder. We want to save it to the Linux files folder. And we don't have to change the name or anything right there. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to click save. And so we're going to go ahead and let that process take place. We can look in the Linux files folder. You might have to click the refresh button, and it might take a little while. So while it is downloading, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so once it is done downloading, you'll see it there in your Linux files. It's a .deb file. That stands for Debian package. So this is all part of the Linux or Ubuntu flavor. It doesn't really matter. It's outside of the scope of what we're talking about. But if I go back into my terminal now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to write the following. This is case sensitive, so I'm gonna write sudo in lowercase letters dpkg-i, and then I'm going to write the word code, and then there's a shortcut in terminal where if you press tab, it will automatically finish whatever the name of the folder or file is if there's nothing else like it. So that way you don't have to type out all of those random characters. Then go ahead and press enter. You're going to see that it's going to go through this process of trying to install this this application. And what you're going to find in this instance is that you might actually run into an error. It's going to say that it's missing certain dependencies or something of that sort. Once it gets through this process, it might take a little while. I will come back, and don't have to. We can say it's missing some of these things that it needs, and so we're going to add something. We're going to go to sudo, again, lowercase letters, apt-get, and we're going to type install-f. We're going to press enter again. Now it's going to go ahead and it's going to try to ask you, do you want to do this? And we're going to say yes. We're typing in why. Do you want to continue? So now it's going to go through and it's going to install everything that we need for this process. Once this is done, and again, it might take a little while, we're going to repeat those first steps. So we're going to type in sudo dpkg-i code, etc. And we can just press the up arrow twice in order to get to this. We're going to go ahead and press enter, and now it's going to go through the process of installing Visual Studio Code, which is going to be this syntax highlighting text editor that's really has some nice features that we're going to use for game development on this on the Chromebook. So now, if everything went as planned, we should be able to click right here, and then we have Visual Studio Code, and we can just type it right here as well, Visual Studio Code, and we can double click on it, and now you're running like real client-based applications on your Chromebook. You're not just limited to web-based applications. So we're going to do one additional thing right here. We're going to click in Visual Studio Code. I'll exit out of here, and I'm going to click the extensions right here. So we're going to add another feature to this called Live Server. And so we'll find launch a web development local server. This is the one that we want at the top, Live Server 5.6.1. We're going to click install. Visual Studio Code is this nice text editor that has all these like bonus features that you can install in order to sort of add functionality to your computer. And so we're going to go ahead and let that finish installing. I'll exit out of here. You might get a number of messages right at the beginning. We don't really care about that. While that is installing, I am going to, okay, good, it's installed. I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to open up a folder. All right, so I'm going to open up a folder. Let's go to home. And you'll notice that home is that same Linux beta folder that we were looking at before. And so here, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder. By clicking this button, we're going to call it code. And we'll use lowercase letters. It doesn't really matter for this purpose. We'll hit OK. So now we have in the sidebar over here sort of our own little directory viewer. And so in our code folder for today, what we're going to do is create a new file by clicking this button here. We're going to call it index.html. And since HTML5 development is all based on web technologies, we're going to build basically like the simplest website that is possible. This is going to violate all sorts of like best practices, but we're just going to type in the words hello world like so. We're going to press file, save, and then we're going to go into view command palette. You could press Control-Shift-P as well. We're going to type in live server, and we're going to choose open with live server. What that's going to do is that's going to open up in the Chrome browser right here. You're going to see the website that you just created. Like you just created your first website. Congratulations. Okay, so that is the lesson. Hopefully it was able to work for you. And this is sort of this is the development environment that we're going to be working in. I think it's going to be a lot better than trying to use the virtual desktop that we were exploring earlier. All right, catch you later.